If you're interested in creating the infrastructure and the right tech for your business, whichever type it is, then this is absolutely the video for you. We're going to go through all the different types of things that you need to consider when looking at building your online business. If you're new and you're not sure, the first time you've met me or seen me, my name is Katie Joy, and I'm a digital marketing strategist, and I like to say fun little geek. I like everything with this digital business creation, automation, systems, and all of that, as well as specializing in helping coaches and consultants package together a really nice signature offer, kind of a higher ticket offer. It can change around your business model and you can create different sort of programs that can make it more scalable. So especially if you're doing like an hourly rate, one-on-ones, and then there's a different way how to change around your business. So anyway, that's what I do. Let's get into the tech, which is one of my favorite kind of topics. So I'm going to be talking about these areas. I'll just say them out loud for now. So your website funnels, your CRM, your email marketing, your analytics, your social media, your internal systems, course or membership sites, any community things, chatbots, gateways, calendars, and all of that type of thing. So let's bring it back to where you're at now. So depending on what type of online business it'll be, will kind of start determining your tech stack. And actually, I just thought of something else I didn't put in there. And everyone will have a different sort of tech stack, and there are different things to think about. And because if you don't set it up the right way or with the right things, it can make your life painful. You can get tired, worn out. You're doing a lot of tasks. You can even have software that doesn't integrate with another one, and things don't fire, which happened to me. I had this great launch, 400 signups. The tech kind of, can't swear on here, kind of went bad, and it was a really quite a disaster. So thinking about these things and how could you scale it in the future? How can you bring people on? And essentially, a business is a process or a system that generates income. So when you're able to create this system, then you're building yourself like a business, and also something that you're able to maybe sell one day if you wanted to, or bring team on and all that sort of thing. So when we look back at the first one, like you've got the website or funnel. So if you had a product-based business, you're going to have a different tech stack than if you're a coach or consultant, because like Shopify, they're one of the leaders in e-commerce brands, and they've got a really good system set up that handles things like shippings, returns, taxes, and then you can it's got an open API, so there's a lot of things that you can put on to make your e-commerce even better, like really intelligent upsells, cross sells, and systems and things like that, which are additional. But so that's what I would recommend if it was e-commerce. I actually had an e-commerce store years ago, like 2015, and I built it on WordPress with WooCommerce, and it was just so clunky and not at all as beautiful as Shopify works. The other thing when you're choosing a platform is to think about the support. What type of support does that software system do? What about the hosting? So WordPress, even when I started building my websites in 2010, they were kind of the leaders and back then. And the problem with it now, there's so many great solutions that I don't like WordPress anymore. I moved away from it a long time ago because they can get hacked, and I have had websites and clients things get hacked. You're in charge of all of that, whereas when you're paying a monthly fee to a system provider, a software provider, they deal with all that. You've got support. If things break, you're not like stuck trying to fix it or hire someone to fix it. They kind of control that sort of thing. So I move away from that, and I like to pay into software that have that hosting and support availability. Also, I wouldn't join any new type of software things when it comes to websites and funnels, because it just takes a few years to overcome the bugs. They might come out and have this great deal at the start, but it literally takes years. And then there's customer support's not going to be that good because they're trying to fix everything that's going wrong with the bugs. And I wouldn't suggest going into that. I would suggest getting into a solid platform or infrastructure. And that's what this whole video is about. So let's look at workflows and automations as well. So a great thing is it makes your life easier when you've got something that can do well and solid most things for you. Because when you start tagging on different things and integrating, Zapier is kind of like the glue between different tech softwares, which it can send information across. But even that, you're only allowed 100 zaps per month before you start paying an extra $30 a month. Everything starts to add up, and then you're paying for this software, for a calendar, and this website, and this hosting, and this email marketing. And then as you grow, a lot of them have different tiers. So then it really starts to add up. And then it's all not really talking nicely together. So you're not able to deliver a really nice customer journey, because ultimately you want to create this system or experience for your client. So you want to figure out that seamless and beautiful journey. And then I recommend I have a coaching program where we pay for the software for you for 12 months, and it does all of these things. And it gives you 12 months to be able to get everything up and running, optimized, over that time without having to fork out money. And when it does all speak together, you're able to deliver a better experience for your client or customer. And then you have to think about, if you had a business with a real store, then you would be hiring a premises and paying for electricity and paying rent and paying for water and even outfitting the whole thing, right? They outfit it's quite a high investment. When it comes to your digital online business, I'm absolutely for starting lean and being resourceful and doing things like that lean startup method. I'm all for that. But this solution I'm talking about is very lean, considering it everything what you've got. And but it is your digital infrastructure. It is your online real estate, all your social media presence accounts. They're part of your online real estate. Your web, your funnels, that's your online real estate. And then what happens behind the scenes to make your business go, the systems that you set up, that is your digital infrastructure and kind of your systems and IP. And you really want to have that all together and all working really beautifully. So with your workflows and automations, that's what I was on. You want to have those. And you might think, what did she mean by workflows and automations? What does that actually mean? So if we think about manually or pasting together different things, it means that let's say you had a training and then people watched it, and then the next stage of your customer journey for your particular business was a person getting on a call with you. So you'd have the series of either emails or SMS or messages, depending on how your client likes to be contacted and what information they're willing to give over for the value that you provided. Then it would be about kind of getting them on that call. And so as soon as they booked the call, let's say they booked it straight away, they're not going to automatically receive all the rest of the workflow that's encouraging them to have a call, because they're already on a call. So it'll take them out of that workflow and into another kind of nurturing one before they're actually getting on a call with you. So you want everything that calendar to map. And then if they end up paying or purchasing something in there, it might change the game as well. Or if they clicked on something in there, you want it to change. So let's think about a review, like a Google review. Let's say you've had an experience. Probably this would be for lower ticket, because you'd have a conversation if it was higher ticket. If it was a lower ticket one, it might be like, did you love the whatever it was, the freebie even, or whatever? And if they clicked on a yes, then you could take them and say, hey, could you give me a review? And then, offer something, this or that or whatever. But you're only going to ask them to review if they've clicked like a hell yeah, I loved it. And so that can all work for you. So that's what I mean, how it's all there working together, all actions, and it can create just that beautiful journey. You want to look at a customer relationship management software as well. And then you might also think, what's that really mean? And a lot of the bigger companies, they'll use like Salesforce or HubSpot or Infusionsoft, hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month. And the software that we give our clients, we include that, and it's got great CRM in it. So that's when you're able to see all the information about a particular customer or client. So you might know, all the interactions, if they've visited your website, if they've been onto an ad form, if they've all in one place, all the emails or messages. You don't have to like go over to Messenger and see what they said. Go to your emails and look for them. Go to your phone and see what texts they've done. It's like all in under their name in the one thing. And you're able to, and then you can put notes in there. You can add appointments for them. You can put tasks in there, or keep writing the notes. If you think about those bigger companies that you call, and you know how they write the notes after the call. So you can do that. You can add notes, and then like, it's hard to remember everything about everyone, right? So you can add that in there, and you can build up a knowledge about that person. So if anyone else comes on your team, or they get a inquiry, or you're scaling up like that, they're able to know who this is, what they've bought, what they've said, what the conversations have been like, and all that sort of thing. So that's a really good one. Then you have your email marketing. We want to make sure it's got analytics in it, because I've used some before that don't, and it kind of really sucks because you want to see which emails are open, so you're able to see what's resonating, what messages are resonating. Like, I wonder why that did. Let me, change with that, or move that, or that one's not getting anything, so I'm going to change that later. So some of those, if you were just looking at email marketing, which is one of the essential ones, because at the moment you can kind of build even an opt-in form and all that just in an email software. If you were getting started, I'd probably recommend one of those. There's Active Campaign and ConvertKit, which are really good budget options. Completely free versions, MailerLite, which actually also is very generous and works really well. And again, we've got a software that includes all of that in there. So then that mail, so you can track all of that as well as all of this and all of this, so you get a complete picture. The next part, yes, as we touched on with analytics, you do want to be able to see how many people have landed on your page, and how many opted in or converted, or how many open emails. So the analytics side, because then you're able to make really kind of data-driven, informed decisions. Of course, we've got Google Analytics. You can also install Hotjar, which heat maps, and it sees where the mouse goes. So if you're curious about what's happening on my website, like, why are they on this page for 2 minutes? Just go into Google Analytics. You're like, they're on my page for 2 minutes, but no one's doing anything. You could download Hotjar, and then it will show you where their mouse is going, where it stays on the page, and give you some insight on how are people engaging or reading or consuming that particular page. Then we've got looking at, as we briefly mentioned before about your social media, you could have a scheduling software. I actually don't mind just using Meta in Facebook, because it's got the Facebook and Instagram, and then you can jump on over to LinkedIn. However, some people like to use Hootsuite or Buffer. These are good, or Later. These are where you can kind of schedule all your posts out in one go on those social media scheduling platforms. I prefer to keep that one a bit separate. Actually, the one Surfer we use does have that ability as well, but I don't know. I guess that's just me. Then you want to look at kind of anything with ads, like how does it work in with that? We've got, for example, if you do a lead form ad on Facebook, so that's when people stay inside Facebook, and like a ad comes up, and then you'll click on it, and instead of being taken to a landing page or a sales page, you stay inside Facebook and you enter your name and email, or just email or phone or whatever it is, but it's inside Facebook. It kind of pre-fills it and then it's done. And why that's great is you don't have to worry about page load speeds, or waiting for the page to load and then people bounce anyway, or reading something, because when you're on Facebook, you're not really there to buy. You're there to look at other things, and then an ad comes up. So in that instant, you can just go, that's interesting, boom, boom. And then when that happens, it goes into a what is it, CSV file that you can download in Facebook, but that's quite slow. You'd have, getting that form, downloading it, and then giving them whatever they asked for. You can use Zapier with some things, that thing that glues the software together and can pass the info over. However, what we use with our clients, it has a direct integration straight in from the ad. So then that lead form, like when they just pop it in, boom, goes straight, and then can deliver via email or whichever means it was instantly. So that's good, and quite because the less, what do we say, the less kind of, we want to have it as seamless as possible. So the less extra tech that we need, the better it is, the more seamless it is, the less things can go wrong. It's kind of like if you try to think of like, not really like building a house. It's more like, when you fix a car, there we go. So you've got your car and things break, and you go to the Nissan dealer and you get the Nissan part. Or if you get the substitute part from China, or like the stereo in the car, that's a good one, like the GPS or something. So if you get like Apple CarPlay like integrated in your car, it's going to be good. It talks to all the tech inside your car because it's made by the same manufacturer. If you get a third party, Apple CarPlay stereo system inside your car, it's a third party one. So it may not go straight to your steering wheel when you do that, or that might break, lose its connection, or maybe the plug at the bottom where you connect it fails because it wasn't put in properly, or it didn't connect in with the Nissan car the same way the original the same way the original car would. So that's what I mean by it's better when you can keep it all in-house, because it's like all by the Nissan dealer. So it's all going to kind of talk to the windscreen wiper at the back and the brakes at the front and the lights on the thing well, rather than patching in, building your car with all these little different third-party devices. More chances of things breaking, going wrong. That's all that is. Okay, so that next thing to look at is like what your internal systems might be like. And so that's kind of your project management, or storing your standard operating procedures. And if you're getting started, you might have it all in your head. I still recommend, if you validated your business and it's in your head, but it's valid, like if you haven't validated your business, no point writing your standard operating procedures, because maybe you're going to switch businesses or it's going to fail or whatever. If you've got validated business, even if you're yourself or a VA or small, I would still systemize the processes and take it out of your head, because then you're starting to really build the structure, and then you can build yourself out of the business. People can come in and do certain tasks, and then when we do things like that, we want to, store it and manage it. So Asana is actually a great place where you can systemize and put in standard operating procedures. You can also put in projects when you add people in to help you on a project, and that sort of thing. So there's Asana, there's Slack is also for internal management, can be quite useful as well. The next thing is looking at any course platforms or membership sites that you might want to have. So if you've got a predominantly course business, and you just want to focus on courses, Kajabi is really nice for that. It has its own app. You can go on to whatever, and it's kind of the leader. It's also one of the more pricier ones at around 150 US per month. Podia is about 39 US a month, and it's good as well. I prefer Kajabi personally. Then you've got, if you're wanting more of a community focus on your online business, because it all depends on you and what you want to create, then you could look at Circle or Mighty Networks. I'm using Mighty Networks, and I think it's I do quite enjoy Mighty Networks. A few things I don't really like, but we're not going to get into it in this one. Then you want to look at, can it help with any chatbots or website widgets, or ways that if someone is there that they're able to leave a message to communicate with you. The software we use, it has all that included as well. Your payment gateways, a lot of people use Stripe. Stripe's kind of a gateway that processes payments in a safe way. And then within your system, will connect up to something like that. But what is your invoicing like? Can you put tax in there depending on the country, depending on who's buying it from where, and all that sort of thing? So how does that all work within your system? Then you've got your calendars. So if you need any sort of bookings, and of course, there's great. I love You Can Book Me. There's Calendly. There's Acuity. They're really great calendar booking systems, but that's kind of, they do that really well. Whereas they're not, you can't integrate it fully into the bigger picture. So that's why I like that whole all-in-one when you have that in there, because then let's say that they've booked with you in Calendly or whatever, and then you're having something in the emails, they don't know what each is doing. They don't know, you'd have to manually add that into your CRM. And then you're just mixing all the data up, and it just already giving me a headache. So that's pretty much it. And then of course you've got other things like Zoom. That is, most people will have that, and that's the $22.5 or something a month. Unfortunately, we don't include that in our all-in-one platform, but I wish that we could, because Zoom's pretty much a key player since COVID. They kind of done a real domination thing. So so they're kind of those different areas. So let me know if this is useful, which one resonated with you, and if you wanted to have a chat about, because it really does just depend on your vision, where you want to go, what you need, and what you're building, what your focus is, and that will determine whatever tech stack you kind of put together. So if you want to have a chat about that, send me a message or book in officially for a big deep dive on Claritycall.biz, and we can go through that. And also we go in a bit deeper. We look at your marketing strategy. We look at your offers. We look at where you want to go, what's holding you back, and how to move you past it. So whether or not anything happens working together, it's still a great call to book in, and you'll get a ton of value out of that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know how you go, if you feel completely overwhelmed with my 24 minutes of of tech talk. You can tell I'm a bit of a geeky nerd in here. So I love to talk tech and get nerdy and geeky with you. So book in for that call at Clarity Call, and I hope you have a beautiful and wonderful day. Okay, Bye.